Do you remember the story about the war between the Israelites and the Philistines? Do you remember David visiting the battlefield? Do you remember that David wants something to happen, that Goliath can't defy God any longer? David wants God's name to be honored. Someone reports to King Saul about David, and Saul sends for him. King Saul says, "What do I hear about you?" David says, "Let no one lose heart because of this giant. I, your servant, will go and fight him." Saul replies, "What? You are not able to go out against this giant? You are only a boy, and he has been a fighting man from his youth." But David says, "I have been keeping my father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. The Lord, who helped me to kill both the lion and the bear, will help me now as well." Then the king says, "Okay, go. The Lord be with you." Then Saul dresses David in his own tunic. He puts a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David tries to walk around. "I cannot go in these," he says to Saul. "I'm not used to them." So he takes them off. David goes just like a shepherd, with his staff in his hand. He takes 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in his shepherd's bag, and with his sling in his hand, approaches the giant. Meanwhile, Goliath and his shield-bearer are coming closer to David. Goliath looks at David. Just a little more than a boy. He says, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Come here, I will just kill you." David says, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is only one God, the God of Israel. He will give all of you into our hands." As Goliath moves closer to attack him, David runs quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a small stone, he hurls it, and the stone sinks into the forehead of Goliath. He falls on the ground with a big thud. Bang! Do you see the power of the Lord? Do you see that the Lord will always help the ones who trust in him? David takes the sword of Goliath and cuts off his head with it. The giant is dead. When the Philistines see that their hero is dead, they turn and run for their lives. The soldiers of Israel shout of joy and pursue the Philistines out of their country. Now they are delivered from their enemies. Do you have enemies? Maybe you think, no, but you have. Sin is an enemy. And do you know who can deliver you? That is Jesus. Ask him to rescue you, and he will do so. When David and the soldiers return from the battlefield, the women are singing and dancing. What a joy! But that makes Saul jealous, and he thinks, it can even happen that they make David king. Jealousy is a sin. It makes things very bad. From that day on, King Saul doesn't love David any longer. That doesn't promise anything good.